Hey, Explanation, you're now rocking with your boy KOR X Kal-El, the last son of Planet Xbox, and you're listening to Super Pod Shots. Today was a crazy day. It's probably one of the craziest days that I've ever experienced on Twitter. Um, a lot of you know that they talked about Quantum Break releasing on Windows 10 today. And the whole time all this was going on, I didn't even look at it. Like I didn't even try to, I guess you could say, be involved in the conversation. I mean, for weeks I've talked about games going to PC, because of Microsoft and things like that. I've talked about how I felt about those things. But look, the reality of it is that I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I think beating a dead horse gets nowhere. People know how I feel about it. I actually myself got tired of talking about it, so I didn't want to bring it up again, clearly. But as the day went on and I got into conversations with people, and I started listening and reading what people were talking about, I just wind up kind of feeling some type of way. More than anything, I was just kind of upset. Not that the game had went to PC. Be honest with you, I can care less about it going to PC. And I'm actually happy that Microsoft is able to get it to go to PC, and they're able to finally come through with their, I guess you could say, their ambitious plan to put games on Windows 10 and unify them as one. But the more I started thinking about it, the thing that irritated me was how they be like, the PC master race is always like, we're the PC master race and you're console peasants and things like that. And as a console gamer, as someone who doesn't game on PC, for a little while, I almost felt like a console peasant. I really did. And it's funny because I'm sitting here saying to myself, man, this is a crazy situation. And before I get deeper into that and explain what I mean by actually feeling like a console peasant for half a minute, I just want to talk about crap gamer. Now, this is something that I never do. I never talk about anybody. I don't get into the fanboy stuff. I don't get into the console war. It's not my MO. That's just something that I don't do. And a lot of people really went ham on crap today because of his emotions. And what's crazy about that is that I actually empathize with crap as a console gamer, as a podcaster, and I don't agree with what he did in calling with Phil. Let's just make that clear. That's not something I agree with. But you got to understand that man was his emotions. He was deep in his emotions. I've said this before. A lot of times when guys do this type of thing, when they're podcasting, or you're like a fanboy and you're going in, fighting for your console, which in itself was a little bit nonsense, you get emotional. You get really deep into it. And I think at that particular moment, crap actually was emotional about the situation. Not in like not in a bitchy way, but just emotional at the fact that, those guys over there at BGST, for whatever you want to say about them, whatever their conversations allude to, whatever issues that they have, or whatever they talk about, whatever beefs they have and things like that, whatever nonsense people may say that they talk about, those guys put on a show every day for the Xbox fans, and they try to go hard for the Xbox, So I think at that point for him, it was an emotional thing, all at E3, and for the last 3 years, this game has been an Xbox exclusive. And then suddenly, 2 months, or not even 2 months, about a month and a half before its release, it turns out it's going to Windows 10 PC. And there's a lot of people out there that really felt like they had been hoodwinked, or, Microsoft was lying. And in my opinion, I don't think it's so much that Microsoft was lying. I think there's a bigger and deeper undertone to that. And I'm going to really get deep to the conversation. I thought that this would probably be about 10 or 15 minutes, but I can see it's not going to be about 10 or 15 minutes. I think this conversation is going to have a really deep undertone to it. But I think what winds up happening is that you look at what Microsoft did as a company when they first started. There's a lot of things that happen. People aren't recognizing where Microsoft was at and where they are today, and how one of the biggest issues we always talk about with Microsoft is communication and how important communication is. If you feed me one thing and you want me to trust you, then you tell me something and I'm going to believe it. But if you flip on that, it makes it harder to trust you. And that goes for guys who are on PC who want to buy Xbox. Those goes for the people who are Xbox fans and they're going hard for their platform. And, to think about people who get upset when they be like, oh my God, these guys are fanboys. It's always about the fanboy war. I want you guys to understand something. Microsoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo, they play into those games. No matter how you look at it, they play into those games. People look at these companies as teams. And when you look at it as a company, as a team, you're rooting for your team. You want your team to win. You're going at bat for your team. You get emotional. You get emotionally attached. Some people can't separate themselves from that. And what's crazy is that you look at how these guys get on stage at E3 and they try to one-up each other, or they'll tweet something out like they're better than that one, or they're doing this, or they sold that. It is a competition. And when you're rooting for the thing that you like the most, it becomes a competition against another person. So people do get emotional about it. And it's not about being a fanboy. Honestly, it's just more about this is how it's always been. Now, for me, I'm not going to sit up here and act like that I don't feel a certain type of way. As someone who talks about the console, represents the console, tries to go all out for the console, get as much information for the console, bring you guys all the content about the console. I'm a console gamer. I'm not a PC gamer. That's not to say that I don't think what Microsoft is doing is a smart move. I actually think it's really smart. And there's upsides to it and there's downsides to it. But I just want people to understand that I think what Crap did today wasn't as horrible as people are making it out to be. Did he make a fool of himself? Possibly. Did he embarrass himself? Possibly. What some of the people wrote out there, was it about that? It really wasn't. I really think Polygon wrote a bad piece, and it really wasn't about that. But at the same time, I think that, what Microsoft did kind of caught some people off guard. And I understand from both perspectives. As someone who has to adapt to the situation compared to somebody who is also a homer for the console. So I kind of get both perspectives. And the way I look at it is like this. I look at Microsoft making this move for a number of reasons. The first reason why I think Microsoft is obviously making this move has to do clearly with not just this vision that Satya Nadella is bringing to the platform, but also the fact that Microsoft is just, again, I don't know how many times I have to say this, they're not the number one console on the market. They just aren't. They're almost 15, 20 million behind. And when you look at software, and this is for the guys out there who feel like these games should stay exclusive, let's just be honest for 1 second. How many games has Microsoft dropped that has gone out and moved the units that we expected to move? Halo 5 didn't even move the units that we wanted it to move. These games are not selling. And that goes for both platforms, honestly. The games are just not selling the way you would normally expect them to sell compared to last generation, where you would have a major exclusive and would just pump out 2 million in a week or 1 million in a day, like megaton exclusives. They're not doing that no more. Like a lot of the third parties are doing it, but that's because they're multi-platform games. So they're easily going across multiple platforms. But overall, the games just aren't producing that. Microsoft also is not getting the type of money they got on 360. If you believe that Microsoft is getting the same money that they got on 360, they're definitely not. Look at the marketing. It is nowhere near what it was on 360. I remember, the crazy thing about Don Matrick, and I can't even believe I'm saying this right now. The crazy thing about Don Matrick, Don Matrick would throw money at something until it stuck. He didn't give a damn about spending $10 million on Grand Theft Auto DLC. And he would just keep doing it. And in the process of that and Red Ring of Death, at the end of the Xbox life cycle, the Xbox gamers kind of got screwed because they didn't get the new IPs that they wanted to get. It was kind of a rehash of the same things over and over. You had Connect come over and kind of take over and things like that. And that kind of ruined a few things for some people. But overall, the overall history of the Xbox 360 minus Red Ring of Death was actually a very successful and one of, to me, in my opinion, one of the best consoles I've ever had, minus Red Ring of Death, of course. So they're not getting that type of budget. Their original Xbox got canceled right around when 360 came out. They just stopped supporting it. So I think from, and I hate to sound like this, but I think from a corporate perspective, because people have to understand this is business. This is a business decision. From a corporate perspective, I'm pretty sure the shareholders are like, we're not putting out that type of money. We're just not. It's not going to happen. And Microsoft is behind in these sales. And I know people say that consoles don't matter. And in a way, they don't, because it's all about software. It is absolutely about software. But again, if you got 40, 50 million consoles out there, you kind of think twice about putting exclusives somewhere else because they're working and getting you what you want. Now, that's not happening for Sony, obviously. Sony is winning on word of mouth, and we already know what they're winning on, a whole bunch of other things. It's definitely not games. No disrespect to the PlayStation guys out there who love their games, but let's keep it real. It's not games. But at the same time, Microsoft is doing a hell of a job in trying to create new IPs. They're putting out content. I think their bundles are like terrible though. Like, let's just keep it real for a second. That Quantum Break bundle, that was terrible. Like the actual packaging of the console, I really feel like they took Sunset Overdrive leftovers and was just like, hey, just throw them in the box. Yeah, they ain't sell. Hey, get them 100,000 out there out that warehouse and slap throw it in a Quantum Break box and let's throw Alan Wake on there and one of those new controllers we got. That's how I feel. I think they could have put a little bit more effort into bundling this game that could have really sold, or maybe moved some units. But for whatever reason, they didn't do that. So with that being said, Microsoft's approach this generation is slightly different. Now, you talk about the vision that Satya Nadella has. They want to go cloud first, mobile first, one, the Windows ecosystem and everything that you use as a Windows device is accessible. And what's funny is that I happen to go into my team's chat for ticgn.com. And I'm going to stop in there real quick. I'm going to bring it up if I still have it. I don't even know if I still have it. I think I closed it out. But there were some things that were said in there that made a lot of sense. One of my writers, his name is Chico. And you guys know him as Jason McCormick. He writes for us. He's a great writer. He's been with us since day one. He's an awesome guy. He said something that made so much sense. And I want to read what he said that was just absolutely so awesome. My Skype is updating, so give me a moment. But in the meantime, Microsoft is trying to build this one ecosystem, and putting games on Windows 10 makes sense to do that. You're expanding your software base. We all know this. More games go out equals more money for the division. More money for the division equals more games for us and more IPs. And, a lot of people are upset because, again, it goes back to this whole console war thing that's been, going on from console to console. It's not new. This isn't new at all. So my man Chico, he goes on this rant. He said, if you think about it, if Sony is keeping their games on PS4, then it means their reach is actually limited. Microsoft is the only company in the world with a presence in PC, console, and mobile. To make a significant to make a significant development platform for these and let us buy a game once and play it on all these platforms is amazing. Sony tried it, but their solution required buying a handheld with ridiculously overpriced memory cards. That's not me. That's what he said. Has anybody ever bought a game, song, or movie for their tablet and wished to pay for it again on their phones? No, because iPad and iPhone or Android share their respective ecosystems. And that's just absolutely the truth. People don't acknowledge that Windows 10 is actually a part of Microsoft ecosystem, that they were always a software company and things like that. I think that this thing that they started with this one ecosystem was inevitably going to happen regardless. Even if they sold 60 million consoles, this was going to happen regardless. I just don't think it was going to happen this soon. I don't think it was going to happen this soon at all. I thought that it'd probably be later in the generation, maybe the next console after, if they were really leading. But I think this has forced their hand. I think that when you look at what Microsoft is doing right now, has been a lot of flip-flopping. You're saying one thing, but you're doing something else. And my question to people is like, really look at, did you guys see the promo today about the Xbox exclusive? Like right on the front, it says Xbox exclusive, then they show Quantum Break. They didn't change that video. And I really think that it was a last minute decision to put this game on Windows 10. And I think that's why they announced it the way they did. But it's terrible. It's a terrible announcement. If this was announced maybe like last spring, like not last spring, let's say last fall or around the holiday season, nobody would bat an eye at it. Nobody would bat. At this point, nobody would bat an eye at it. We all be like, okay, it's cool. And I think a lot of people's, agrees with that. But then you have a lot of hardcore guys, you have a lot of console guys that don't agree with it because it's so short notice. It's like you had PC people go out and buy the console thinking that it was going to come to the Xbox One as an exclusive, and then to turn around and say, well, you can also get it for PC. That pissed a lot of people who bought the console off. I don't know how many people told me today that they're going to be trading the console in because of that, because they can get the game in a superior way on their PCs. In my opinion, I think they miss out on other things that the Xbox does well, but that's my opinion. Microsoft, like Chico said, is the only company that's capable of, really pulling this off. And I'm impressed with them and with their vision and their ambition. At the same time, I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's a double-edged sword because if none of this is successful, if this is not successful, and whatever they do right now, if it is not successful, if they do not get the sales that they want on PC, if they aren't to reach the people that they feel that they can reach on PC, then you have just sacrificed your install for Xbox to increase your install for Windows. And people say that, well, people on PC don't buy consoles. I don't know why people say that. You guys can disagree with me, but last generation on 360, there were 80 million consoles sold. I can guarantee you at least 10 million of those people, a minimum of 10 million of those people had PCs. If you don't think PC people buy consoles to play exclusives, they do. They're not buying them this generation because the media has convinced everybody that the Xbox is an inferior console, that it can't do 1080p, that the games look and run horrible, that graphically it is the worst console. When in actuality, it's not at all. It's actually a very good console. It has enough power to stay on par with the PlayStation. It may not be able to set the resolution. It may not always hit the frame rates at a stable rate. But if Digital Foundry and companies like that didn't tell you, you wouldn't notice. A lot of these things are small and insignificant. And there's a few games here and there that actually show those differences. But at the end of the day, the console is plenty capable of producing high quality graphics. And we've already seen that today with Quantum Break. So because of this, and because of the word of mouth of people and things like that, this is what you get with the Xbox One. So you now have Microsoft attempting to go in a different way, approach it a different way, go with the one ecosystem, which I think is smart, obviously. And now they're selling their games to their Windows 10 subscribers. Whoever is able to upgrade to Windows 10, go to the Windows 10 store and purchase the games, then they'll be able to pick those games up and play it through the Xbox app. You're not playing those games anywhere else. Let's just make one thing clear. You're not playing those games anywhere else. Okay? That's one of the things that I wanted to do when I spoke to Mike Ybarra on the show. And if you don't believe me, hey, check it out. It's on the channel. You'll see it. The one thing that I did when I spoke to Mike Ybarra on the show was I asked him, can you play these games anywhere else? And he said no. And he said that you would have to play it. If it's an Xbox Live game, you will use Live to play it. The Xbox Live app will load up and you'll be able to play it. My thing is, Microsoft needs to pump out a hell of a lot of first-party games. They need to pump out a hell of a lot of first-party games, honestly, to make it viable. You know, I was in the room chatting with my boy Anchor. You guys know Anchorman V, Tick Podcast member, has his own channel as well. And I'm in a party with him, and you know, he's asking me questions about today and things like that. And I'm ranting a little bit. I'm not upset at the fact that the game is on PC. I was kind of more irritated with, you know, the whole Xbox Live situation. Now I'll discuss that in a second. But what I was talking about, though, was that somebody had said to me earlier in the day that, you know, third parties would go crazy for this. They would go insane for this one ecosystem. And I'm like, if I'm a third party dev, and I understand this is my opinion, you know, and I spoke to Domo about this too when I was on Twitter. Understand this is my opinion. If I'm a third party dev, why would I go crazy for that? And I want you to understand where I'm coming from. If I make a game, let's say The Division, and The Division comes out on Steam and PS4, Windows and Windows 10, why would I be crazy about Windows 10 and PC? And I'll explain to you Windows 10 and Xbox. I'll explain to you the reason why. The great thing about Quantum Break, right, is that when you buy this game as an exclusive, because it's coming from Microsoft, when you buy this game, it's cross-buy. So that means if I buy it on Xbox, I'll be able to buy it I'll be able to automatically download it on PC because I have a code. That's great. It's cross-saves. And in my opinion, cross-saves is bigger than cross-buy. I think cross-saves can be like super amazing if Microsoft does this, which I'll talk about after I finish talking about what I'm talking about right now. But what it is you look at, if you're a third-party dev, right, you say to yourself, okay, Sony has a bigger install base. All right, whatever. I can make the game for them. I also have Steam, which has the largest install base on PC, right? Now, that's two profits I just made my money on. I just made my money on Steam and PlayStation. Now, you want me to take my game and put it on Xbox and then give it for free on PC? As a third-party developer, why would I want to lose money like that? It's awesome. It's amazing. If Microsoft can convince third parties to do that, that would be incredible. That would be absolutely incredible. There is no question about that. It would be absolutely amazing if they convince third parties to do that. But convincing a third party to do that, to sacrifice money on one to support the other or support this particular design, to me, as a third party developer, I wouldn't do that. And to top it off, most PC gamers don't even like Windows. Like literally everybody I've spoken to don't even like Windows. Most of them don't even like Windows 10. I mean, when Tomb Raider or not even, when Killer Instinct got announced that it was a Windows 10 exclusive, you should have seen the amount of people I've seen go in an uproar that it wasn't coming to Steam. It's funny. It really is. Microsoft is a genius when it comes to that. They're definitely selling Windows 10. Like Quantum Break is going to sell Windows 10. It was a smart move for them to do that. I think the timing was off in the way they communicated that. You know what I'm saying? The timing was definitely off in the way they communicated that. However, it was definitely smart for them to do that. They will sell Windows 10 on that. People will upgrade to play Quantum Break. Did you see the specs that you have to have on a PC to play Quantum Break? They started out at an i5. Like it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So I'm impressed with what they did for this game technically. So we all know that it's gonna take a rig, it's gonna take something to play this game. It's not just gonna be like, hey, I went and bought this laptop. I'm gonna play Quantum Break today. For everybody who's like, oh, I got a PC, I'll play Quantum Break. Come on, we know who you are. We know you're frauds. we know you're frauds. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, though, if I'm a third-party developer, I'm really questioning why am I making this move. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who has Windows 10 is going to buy the game on Windows 10. Most people who have a PC have been playing on PC for years, or PC gamers, they're like, if I have to make a choice between Steam and if a game comes out on Steam and a game comes out on Windows, more than likely they're going to buy it on Steam. Unless it's an amazing incentive like they did when they sold Tomb Raider for $9 on Windows. They sold Tomb Raider for $9 on Windows. $9. That's crazy. But that was a hell of an incentive to get it on Windows. So really, it's really up to Microsoft to try to convince people that this, if you buy it for one, that it'll go for the other, the cross-buy thing. If they could convince third parties on that, that would be insane. Now, I'm telling you right now, that could kill the game. But you know what would kill the game even crazier? If they flipped it and convinced PC people bringing games to the Xbox for cross-buy and for cross-save. That would be insane. If you have a PC developer releasing a game on Windows first because it's a PC title, and all the people out there who want to play this game can play it on Windows, Microsoft has to figure out a way to get Windows exclusives by itself. Like not even like just sharing Xbox games. They need to be able to produce Windows games by themselves and then turn around and say, guess what? You played it on Windows, you want it on Xbox, it's coming to Xbox, and whatever you just played on your PC or laptop, you can just play it on the Xbox One. Because remember, everybody doesn't play with their friends on PC. I don't know how many people say all the time, oh, I had this game on PC, I want to play with my friends, yada, 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 then they can go play with their friends on consoles. There's a lot of people who do that all the time. I see it all the time. A lot of people say it all the time. I don't know how many people say, hey, I played the game with my friends on PlayStation. Rocket League is one of them. I know 1,000 people say, hey, I played this game. I played Rocket League on PlayStation. Now it's coming to Xbox. I'm going to play it on Xbox because I have a bunch of friends on Xbox. So I'm just saying that if they were able to reverse engineer that somehow, that would be pretty dope. I don't know how that would be capable. I'm just saying if they were able to, it'd be pretty dope. Now, the downside to that, like I said before, the double-edged sword, the double-edged sword part of it is that if Microsoft is not successful in what they're trying to do with this whole thing, then it hurts the Xbox console. Because then you don't have people who are interested in getting a console who have PCs. And there's a lot of PC gamers out there. I think Tomb Raider sold like 456,000 copies on Steam in like 2 weeks, like 2.5 weeks. I think it came out January 28th. It's already like February 12th. I think 2 days ago, they announced how many copies sold already on PC. So my thing is, if you're selling, you're selling these games on PC and things like that, you got to be able to convince the PC crowd that, Windows 10 is worth converting over to, and that you got a ton of games coming through the cycle, if that's what you're going to do. I know people wanted me to rant and talk about, oh my God, we lost another exclusive and this, that, and the third. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. That's not my mindset, man. It's not. It's just one of those things. It's like, am I going to stop playing Xbox One because Quantum Break is on PC? No. Am I going to miss Gears because might be on PC? No. Am I going to miss Scalebound? Hell no. Yeah, I know I've been waiting for Scalebound, so I'm definitely not going to miss Scalebound. You know what I'm saying? Do I agree with it? I don't. I never did. I never will. I always think that console exclusives are important for that particular console because it helps move units. But when you look at the landscape at what the units have been doing for the console, it hasn't been much. So I don't blame Microsoft for going to PC looking to sell their games. And if those games sell well, then that money reverts back to the Xbox division and we get more IP. And I don't think it's anything more important than games. There's nothing more important than games as gamers. If you're getting games and you're happy with the console that you're playing on, that's all that matters. That's what's most important, honestly. Now, my biggest issue, which has nothing to do, obviously, with exclusives going to Windows 10, and why I earlier felt like for half a second a actual console peasant, was because when I looked at the landscape of what was happening with the games going from Xbox One to PC, I just looked at the complete incentive of what's happening for the PC gamer and why I felt shafted for a second. I'm like, okay, they get all the exclusives, boom. They get to use all the same features we have, boom. And they don't have to pay a dime, boom. They get all the games also at the best quality if they have the cards for it. So you literally get the game at its highest quality. You get to use all the features I'm using on my Xbox, and you're not even paying $60 a month for it. I mean, $60 a year for it. And I understand PC has always been free, and it always will be. That's not my problem. My issue is now that you're doing that for PC, what are you going to do for the people who are the foundation of this Xbox Live service? Because it was one thing when we were paying it for ourselves. Now we're paying for it for other people. I don't want to hear the excuse about, oh, they got to put money into this and they got to do this and they have to do that. Listen, I can tell you this right now. We have to go out, pay for this service. The games with goals is not even like, amazing. It'd be one thing if like, okay, last year Assassin's Creed Syndicate came out, and then later in the year, this year, we get Assassin's Creed Syndicate. We didn't even get, what's crazy is we didn't even get the launch games yet. We didn't even get the launch games yet for Xbox One. We didn't even get Rise. It's been almost 3 years. We didn't even get Rise. We didn't get Dead Rising. You know what I'm saying? Like they just gave us Killer Instinct recently. Which was cool, but we all know Killer Instinct is a downloadable title. It's like $20. So, I mean, what is the real incentive with games with gold? Games with gold is cool. It's fun. But remember, the games with gold on Xbox One, if you go off live, you don't keep those games. Those games don't even work. It's the 360 games that work. The Xbox One games don't work. And, and then you look at discounts. Discounts is cool. I like some of the discounts we get. But a lot of times, these digital games are still more expensive than retail. I literally I was just on Amazon looking at Red Dead. They had Red Dead retail for $9, and the digital code was $30. $30. I didn't even understand how the gap in price was that expensive. It was just mind-boggling to me. Then you go to I just don't get why digital games are so expensive. There's no middleman. I don't want to hear the excuse about, oh, it's competition. You got to keep it competitive. Why? Why is it competitive? If people want to own the game, they pay for the physical disc. It's more expensive. Digital games, there's no distributor. You're giving me a digital license to play the game. I don't understand why these games are more expensive. Then if you turn around and you tell me that the games are going to be cheaper on Windows, if I have to pay $60 for a game and the game they're releasing for Xbox One or Windows is cheaper, people will lose their mind. They will lose their mind. And don't tell me they wouldn't lose their mind. They would. Because you'd be paying full retail price for it. Now, again, I'm not saying that the PC gamer has to pay a a fee for Live. That's not going to happen. Steam is free. That will not fly at all. It will not work. Their whole thing, if they try to do that, would automatically fail. What I'm trying to say is that there has to be some type of extension, some type of perk, some type of something to compensate the Xbox gamer who is the foundation of Live. It's our money that's paying for, to keep the best service that is Xbox Live going. We're the ones that kick out the money every year to do it. That go to the Xbox store and buy these digital games and support those things and things like that. And we've been doing it for years. I've been with Xbox Live for 11 years. I actually been with Xbox Live longer than that, but my name got canceled. So I lost my status with them for a while because I had to trade my Xbox in, my original Xbox. But actually, I've been with Xbox longer than 11 years. But right now, I've been with Xbox for 11 years. I've been dealing with Live for 11 years. I've been rocking with Xbox for a minute. So, yeah, I do feel some type of way about that. I really do. I think Microsoft should come up with some type of new tiers, a platinum tier or something that includes, Groove, maybe some, movie giveaways, not Crackle. Crackle was already free. Why do they do that anyway? Why do they give away Crackle when Crackle is already free? Hey, come check out these free movies on these free apps. Really? Sometimes they give you a free movie, but the movies be lame, bro. The movies already be like on Netflix. It don't be nothing special. It don't be like The Martian. You know what I'm saying? It don't be like Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that when it first released. It's just funny stuff. Yeah, man. But I think there has to be some type of way that Microsoft steps up a little bit and they're like, hey, we know that these guys are getting it for free, so we're going to do this for you. And we're going to do this. And I'm hoping that E3 that they do something like that. Another issue I have with Microsoft is these bundles, man. I don't know what they're doing with these bundles. Last generation, bro. What? The bundles was insane. The Star Wars bundle with like R2-D2, like that was crazy. There was so many bundles. There was so many custom consoles. Now we only see them in giveaways. Oh, you can get this in a giveaway. What? I mean, the Halo console was cool. It was all right. The Forza console was fire to me. I mean, it was blue, but that rev up was hot. I felt like if they would have did something with Quantum Break, the console could have been white, but they could have added like a little yellow Monarch butterfly or something. They could have put lights on the side of it to make it look like some type of time machine. Give us some type of sound effect like he's, doing a time ability. It's crackling sound when you turn it on. Something. I just feel like they just pulled those, like I said, I feel like they just pulled those Sunset Overdrive consoles out the back. Like, hey, throw them in the box, put Quantum Break on, let's get these things out the door. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that feels like Microsoft is not attempting to put out, amazing bundles and make people say, hey, I want that console. There's a couple of them out there without question, but there's not a lot, not like last generation. And I think that continues to falls right back down to Microsoft as a company not giving them the budget. Now, I just want to make a quick point. If Microsoft has to do this to keep the Xbox division within the Microsoft conglomerate, by all means do it. I think that them doing this and keeping the Xbox division afloat or keeping the Xbox division, within the Xbox and not spinning it off because the shareholders feel some type of way about Xbox or whatever is the smartest thing they can do. If that's what you have to do to stay, then that's what you do. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if the Xbox was spun off, it would not survive. It would not survive on its own. I know we're Xbox fans. I know we like the console, but I'm telling you straight up, it wouldn't survive. It wouldn't. It's not the number one console on the market. It's not even the number one console in the US. And yes, it's not about sales. Obviously, it's not. But if it's spun off by itself, it has to have something. It has to have something to fall back on if you're off by yourself trying to make your own money. Like Microsoft's money is like where it's at. It's like the second or third largest corporation in the whole entire world. They got money to blow. But they're not doing it this generation because the last two consoles, the first console was a money pit, and their Red Ring of Death made the 360 a money pit. They made a ton of money on games, but it just wasn't. The Xbox One didn't start out well. It's so slow, but it picked up over time. Then it really kicked in, and it's been outdoing the Xbox 360, and that is absolutely great, you know. But remember, they sold the console very quickly. They removed the Connect. They were selling it at a loss and things like that. And I think just recently, last year, they started making a profit on the consoles. But you got to remember, these consoles don't sell. When you sell a console, you don't make $400 off a console. You don't make $500 off a console. I don't know why people think that because you sold a console, you know, you make all this money. There's a reason why software is king. There's an absolute reason why software is king. I believe the last time I saw the analytics for what a console made when you sold it, when the Xbox One sold at $500, they made $24 for every console. It's the reason why consoles are sold at a loss. And over time, as the hardware depreciates, then the profit, the money starts to kick in because the parts become cheaper. It's easier to mass produce and things like that. So the profit starts to kick in. You start making money. Sony did it a lot faster, obviously, and their console sold for, I believe, $17 per console. You know, but they didn't have to cut price or anything. Microsoft had to cut the price. Not really cut the price. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. They didn't cut the price. They removed the Connect. But at the same time, that's not something that they wanted to do. They had no choice but to do that. And I think it was a smart thing to do. It got them back in the race and things like that. And now they are number 2, and they have a console that is probably their highest selling console currently. I don't think this generation will last that long for them to surpass the Xbox 360. This generation is not going to last 10 years. It's not. It's definitely not going to last 10 years. But it will definitely do very, very well. Maybe they'll hit 50. PlayStation may hit 80. PlayStation may hit 80, but definitely they'll hit 50. But I think if Microsoft can do what they're doing software-wise, you know, with Windows 10, and it's a success, they will have one hell of an attachment rate. And I think they're going to pump out a ton of IPs. They have no choice. They really have no choice but to pump out IP after IP after IP and make sure that those console exclusives appeal to people who are console gamers. They have to make a bigger effort of marketing to the casual market. They need to be able to make a bigger effort to marketing to the rest of the world. And I'm not talking about Japan. I'm talking about Germany. Germany is a country that don't even think about Xbox. They have to figure out a way to market better to Eastern Europe. I don't know what they have to do, but they got to figure it out. I speak to people all the time. You guys know, you guys listen to the show, you know, like I may not have like 1 billion followers or 1 billion listeners, but I love Tick fans because Tick fans are like everywhere, man, all over the world, the best fans in the world. That's why I say that. And I mean, I speak to people from Russia, you know, people from Germany, you know, people from Spain. Like I speak to all types of people who listen to the show, and they tell me, dude, just like nothing out here on Xbox, and everybody buys PlayStation. No marketing, nobody talks about it, nothing. So I think Microsoft has to step up their marketing in that regard too. I think Quantum Break, by the way, looks stunning and was definitely overshadowed by today's nonsense. So much stuff happened on Twitter. It's just crazy. So many people just lost it. You know, it was a combination. I never seen the Xbox community so divided. It was just crazy. But you know what, man? I think in the end, Quantum Break is going to do crazy numbers. It's going to do crazy numbers. You know, this is the most anticipated game, whether it sells on Windows 10, whether it sells on Xbox One. All that matters is that the money goes back to the Microsoft division. The Microsoft division reinvests that into the Xbox, and the Xbox is getting new IPs and new games. Look, they got games coming. Young Conquer. Come on, we all spoke about this. Fragment. We all spoke about this. You know, if Gears 4 goes, fine, Gears 4 goes. If Scalebound goes, fine, Scalebound goes. What can you do? Are you not going to play Xbox because those games are on Windows 10? Are you done with Xbox? If you have a PC, sure, be done with it. But if you're a console gamer, you really have to question, what are you playing for? Are you playing for the box? Or are you playing for the game? Or are you playing for both? Are you going to support the Xbox division and buy the Xbox to continue to play the games? Or are you just going to be salty and cross over to PlayStation or Nintendo? It's a double-edged sword for Microsoft. It truly, truly is a double-edged sword, you know. But that cross buy is a perk, man. That cross buy is big, and that cross save is bigger. That cross save is crazy. That's a moment, man. That was major. Being able to play Quantum Break at home, take your laptop with you. If you have a laptop that can run the game at minimum specs, on the road, load the game up and have your game saved in the cloud and just continue from wherever you're at. That's crazy. And you know what's crazy? What's even crazy is that it's almost similar to remote play, except you have the actual game. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about streaming anything or anything lagging out, or the lag on button press, input lag, or anything like that. You just actually have the full game loaded up on your device. Whether it's tablet, which I'm sure they'll allow tablets to do if you have a powerful enough tablet and things like that. I'm pretty sure the what is it called? The Surface Book can run it. That thing is a beast. So, Microsoft, man, I think they are doing some special things. They are a very unique company. A lot of people are, overshadowing, trying to downplay Microsoft because, their games are multi-platform and all that stuff like that. That's fine, man. If that's how you want to look at it, that's fine. Look at it as a multi-platform game. That's fine. But it's not on your rival consoles. It's on a Windows device. And Microsoft is really going hard with this Windows. But I think that they have to be able to get their messages across much clearer and much sooner. So you don't have guys like crap, or you don't have guys that are really, really emotionally invested, because you gotta remember, these guys are podcasters. You start battling other people and other podcasters, and people could say what you want about these guys being fanboys, man. But these guys are entertainers, but they also are gamers, and they're people. And people have feelings, people have emotions and things like that. I can get emotional my damn self sometimes. There's been plenty of times I've had so many people disagree with me on so many topics, but you guys understand where I'm coming from. You guys understand the passion that I have for the community and for the box and things like that. And like I said, I'm not trying to sit up here and defend the man. I just understand where he's coming from as a gamer, as a console gamer. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But he kind of just took it to another level by, trying to call Phil out. It was crazy, man. I don't even know what to say about that. That was crazy, man. That was a crazy situation. But, at the end of the day, though, we all Xbox gamers, man. We all gamers, period. Microsoft is trying to build something different. They're trying to build something special. It's a new era for the Xbox division. That's how you got to look at it. It's a new era. If this thing works out, Microsoft got something special, and they're ahead of the ball game before anybody else. If it doesn't work out, Microsoft messed up big time. They lost a lot of console sales. Their market share dwindles down to third place because the NX is going to come out. And if the NX is hot, they may have some competition. That's if the NX is hot. Right now, it's like they got a lot of third-party support. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully it all works out. Phil's vision works out the way he wants it to go. They start to step up their marketing somewhat. They got to do something with these bundles. They got to do something with these bundles, man. And if all that works out, then I think they'll be okay. I think Microsoft is on the right path. They're doing the right things. They're investing in IPs. That's more important than anything, man. Building up their first-party portfolios is more important than anything. I don't know why people don't think that having the money to invest in your IPs is more important than anything. Clearly, they're not getting the money from Microsoft, so maybe selling more software through PC helps them accomplish those things. I've literally I've never seen Microsoft invest this much in new IPs in 1 year. Like, when have you seen that? Other than probably like the original Xbox, which I can barely remember, which was like that was a decade ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. Scalebound, Recore, Quantum Break. We just found out about Fragment, Young Conquer. They got smaller titles. You know what's crazy? Another thing that's crazy about Microsoft is that they're like, a lot of people try to gloss over it, but and I was talking to Anchor about this, but their preview program is the only thing happening on consoles where they're bringing PC games to Xbox One. That preview program is so clutch. People try to gloss over it like, oh, it's a broken, I don't want to play it, yada, yada, this is stupid, I wouldn't invest my money in it. But you're going to wind up getting the full game. I'm pretty sure they're selective about what they pick, who they choose to put the games on. And once the game is on there, you're playing the game, you get it at a cheaper price. When it hits full retail, you get some type of bonus content, incentives, DLC, things like that. Microsoft was smart in doing that, being like not a pioneer doing it, obviously, because Steam was doing it, but for consoles, that was smart. Bringing those PC titles that otherwise may have never even come to the console to consoles. You know what I'm saying? Like, could you imagine if they were somehow able to get Ark to be cross-buy? Like, you're playing it on your Xbox, but then you can also have the same version for PC, for Windows 10, and your saves cross over with Ark to the PC version, and you can play that anywhere you want to go. They have the potential to do that with some of these games. Elite Dangerous was not supposed to come to consoles. I'll tell you that right now. That game, for me, is complicated. I'm still trying to figure out how to play Elite Dangerous, literally. Trying to figure out how to get the destinations and things like that is complicated. It really is. But it's an awesome game. I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to learn it. So that's why I'm like, yo, it's pretty dope, man. You even have people on the Xbox saying, hey, when's the next preview program game going to come out? When you start asking for preview program games, you know you're doing something right. Microsoft is innovating. You know what I'm saying? Everybody imitates each other. Microsoft is innovating. They're bringing something new to the table. I like that. Those days may be timed. They may be timed exclusive. They may be timed betas, whatever you want to call it. I'm enjoying them. Right now, I play Ark to death. Like, Ark was my game for a minute until I heard that they might master reset the whole thing. And I put so much time in the Ark, bro. Oh my God, I put so much time in the Ark. My base is insane. But if they reset that, I'd be like tight. I probably wouldn't want to play it again. Like, really, they should just reset the PvP service only and not the PvE service. They should just leave those alone. But yeah, man, if they're investing in PC titles and they're bringing them to the Xbox and they're figuring out ways to combine PC in the Xbox, then they got something special, man. Nobody else is doing that. You know what Sony is doing? I respect Sony for what they're doing, though. Sony is investing in their own devices, right? No other company besides Microsoft has an operating system. No other company can reach the type of people that Microsoft can reach because of their operating system. Now Sony can come out with an app. You have PS Now, and they could put that app on PC without question. But my thing is I don't know how the pricing is on PlayStation Now. I don't, so I'm not going to sit up here and guess. Most people tell me that it's not. How can I say this? It's not feasible for consumers just yet and things like that. I think it's gotten better, but it's not feasible just yet for consumers. Sony has the opportunity to do something special with that. If they put PlayStation 4 games on there, they put PS4 games on there, they got something special, But right now, they're not doing that. Microsoft is the only ones that has the opportunity to try to reach the type of fan base that they possibly can because of Windows 10 and the Windows Store. They're the only ones. They are only ones that really work in that PC space. You got a ton of indie games out there, and I know Sony got a ton of indie games. Don't get me wrong. I know they got a ton of indie games and things like that. But Microsoft really, being in that PC space, being a software developer, working with PC back in the day and DX12 now, you start getting these games to cross over to DX12 and work with DX12 and work with DX12 and PC and DX12 and Xbox. Microsoft has an opportunity to do something special in crossing games over from PC to Xbox and Xbox to PC. And that could be something that they can really use. And I keep stressing about that cross save. I think that cross save is big. So I don't want to keep ranting on about the same thing, man. I just came to just say that, I know a lot of people's getting on crap about it. What happened today. A lot of people feel embarrassed about what happened today, and it made the Xbox community look bad, man. But man was emotional, man. He was. Sometimes emotion gets the best of us. We're all grown men. That's without question. But even grown men get emotional. Don't tell me you never seen your dad get emotional. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, don't tell me you didn't see your dad get emotional, over something that he cared about. People care about these things, man. They get emotionally invested. I try not to get emotionally invested. I really do. I try not to, because for me, it's a piece of plastic, and a fire can happen. It'll be gone tomorrow, you know. But at the same time, when you have a passion for the community and the games that you love and the games you like to play and the people that you like to talk to, and try to be a great voice for them, then you have a passion for that. And when something bad happens that you don't agree with and something that you're supporting, you can get emotional about it. Things went south afterwards, but I sympathize with him, man. I do. I wouldn't have took his route. That's a bold man. That man has some balls, man. But I would have took his route. I wouldn't have did that. But regardless, at the end of the day, I understand where we came from. Microsoft's decision to put Quantum Break on Windows 10 was probably the smartest decision that they probably could have made to maximize the profits of this game, and also to make sure that they get enough sales on that to reinvest in IP. They're going to do that with Gears 4. They're going to do that with Scalebound. They're going to do that with Recore, CFDs. Pretty much every single game you could think of, I pretty much guarantee they're going to do that now from here on out. And I'll be honest with you, my honest hardcore opinion, this is going to sound really, really harsh coming from me. I probably won't believe anything Microsoft says from here on out. I probably wouldn't. And I know guys are like, why? They never lied. They never did this. They never did that. Man, they didn't. Maybe they didn't. But, it's hard to believe something, talk about something, pitch something, and things like that. When you're going at bat for the console to get the right news out, get the right word out, get the facts out, and then to turn around and something else happened, they kind of make you feel stupid a little bit sometimes, and things like that. People don't get that because they're just gamers, they're consumers. But when you're in the media and you're doing podcasts and you're talking and you're traveling and things like that, people kind of respect your opinion. It's tough. It can be tough. So it's hard for me to sit up there and say, okay, I can believe that at E3 they're gonna drop 4 new IPs and it all says Xbox exclusives. How could I believe that? I couldn't believe that. I would have hoped that they would just be honest and be like, hey, these are Windows 10 exclusives. Like, really, they should just say that from now on. Windows 10 exclusives. Don't say Xbox and PC, just say Windows 10. I think that's smarter. And I said this before, they should just say Windows 10. Because it's one ecosystem and everything's under Windows 10. Xbox is a Windows 10 device. Their PCs are Windows 10 devices, tablets, phones. So it should be all under Windows 10. If they do that, that'll be the smart thing to do. And hopefully, they're probably not listening to the show, but hopefully they'll do that. And Microsoft will be able to get a clearer message across so that way they don't confuse people. Because I think that can be confusing sometimes. It's such a last minute thing for so many people today. So it kind of caught a lot of people off guard. Me personally, I don't really care. I can't do it. I can't do it. I told you guys before, man, beating the dead horse talking about this Xbox exclusivity stuff. It's exclusive to Windows 10, then it's exclusive to Windows 10. If it's on Xbox and I'm playing it, that's all I care about at this point, and things like that. So I'm gonna see if I can answer some questions if I can. For some apparent reason, I can't see you guys in group chat. I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to see you guys in a different type of way. 1 second. Oh man, how the hell? Oh, there we go. I got it. All right, cool. So I got you guys right now. Yeah, I mean, Wild Horse says, do you think Microsoft has come to this due to the sales numbers versus the competitor? I don't think it's so much the competitor. I think it's just overall they didn't expect it to be probably as low as it is. It's not low from the perspective of in comparison to its old console. But I guess you could say, yeah, in comparison to its competitor, it's not as high as I'm pretty sure the division would want it to be. On top of that, they lowered the price of the console as well. So it took them much longer to make a profit on the console than the competition did, which probably set them back as well. The great thing about the Xbox One is that it's a great, great console in its right because it's so versatile. The thing updates regularly. People look at it as a bad thing, but we always get cool updates or fixes quickly. These are things that the competitors' consoles always ask for. Always. You know why we don't have long maintenance times? Because these things happen in the background when we're sleeping. You have 3 OSs running on the console, and you're able to navigate the console and do all these things at the same time at a few clicks of the button. It's an amazing device. I swear to you. I really think the Xbox is probably the best console Microsoft has ever made. I don't think that I don't have a problem with the design. The design is fine. I just hope that the next console they come out with is a little bit smaller, it looks better, and is able to stand up for those people who want a console that can, conform to their environment. Let's see what we have here. You just lost some points and some friends at Xbox? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I probably did, but I mean, what you want me to do? I'm a human being, man. I mean, I can tell you this. If people are upset because of my own thoughts and my own opinions, then they have their own problems. You got to look at it from the perspective of I'm giving people my thoughts and opinions on a situation and trying to be rational about the situation. Most people aren't rational. So if you disagree with me and you have to defriend me and you can't respect my opinion because of it, then we shouldn't be friends in the first place. I respect everybody's opinion, whether I agree with it or not. I don't get upset at people. I don't curse people out. And I damn sure don't start beef with people over what they feel. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And if you respect my opinion, whether you agree with it or not, you can respect it to say, hey, I agree, Cal, or I disagree, Cal. But I still love your show and I still love your content. Or you can say, you know what, screw you and screw your channel. I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's no sweat off my back. You know what I'm saying? It really isn't, man. Let's see here. I believe there'll be another Xbox One. I believe it because right now, this console generation is not going to last very long, Wild Horse. And at the same time, people just aren't ready just yet for a digital future completely. I think what will happen is Microsoft, Sony will figure out a way to come up with some type of device where you can stream things as well as play things. Everything is going server. That's just really what it is. Microsoft is going server with Azure. Sony's going server. I forget the name of their thing. I forget the name of their servers. The ones that they bought from On Live. But I think that Microsoft and Sony, and as well as Nintendo, because Nintendo are doing some things cloud as well. I saw that in their schematics. They're doing some cloud stuff. I think this is the future. The future is going to be games on servers. Specs are, in a box. They're limited because they can only do so much. But with servers, you can do damn near anything. You have server farms to push these things out and stream them. It's just whether or not you're going to be able to stream these things across the internet at a manageable bit rate to other countries, especially countries that don't have the internet that the first world has, or even the second world has. You know, there's a lot of people out there that don't even get, 5 megs, so it's like they really have to make sure that the infrastructure worldwide is out there, and that's growing exponentially. The internet is growing exponentially. Less than 5 years ago, I was getting 50 megs. That was the max. Now it's up to like 200. So you could imagine another 5 years, that thing would be damn near 300 or something like that. It'd be out of control. Yeah, I mean, I think people are blowing out of proportion. I thought people blew out of proportion. The big deal. I didn't say anything. I just read and watched. I didn't want to comment because I didn't really want to get caught up in the drama of it all. But I just do agree that us console gamers and the people that support Xbox Live deserve at least another tier of Live or some type of extra perk. Being the foundation to support these games for PC and PC gamers, because they're going to be using Live to play these games. That's just my opinion, though. Nah, I don't think the Xbox will be an installment of Xbox apps. They're going to need hardware. They're definitely going to need hardware, some type of hardware. What I'm hoping is that the next Xbox is a beast of a console, so that way the games that do go to PC, they're either close to on par, or at a point to where they're not so left behind that you can really see differences and things like that. I think a lot of people will be happy with that and go out and buy the Xbox One because most games would be close. Pricing wise, they can still do 500. I don't think they could do 6. They could do 5 if the specs is in it. Just don't put Connect in it. I think that was the problem the last time. Don't put Connect in it. You put Connect in there, and then the next thing you know, the freaking price shoots up. It's like, sell the Connect separately if they're even going to sell the Connect again, in my opinion. Yes, I do know that they don't get money off of Rise of the Tomb Raider for PC. They only publish the Xbox version. They only get money off of the original Xbox versions. But you do understand that they own Quantum Break, Recourse, Scalebound, Sea of Thieves, and every other first-party game, so they get all the money off of those games, and those games are exclusively those games are exclusively on Windows 10. It can only be bought from the Windows Store, not Steam, not GOG, not Origin, or any other place, not even Amazon. I think that's what they're doing. People feel like they lost a war on sales. I don't even know if there's a war. There's no war. There's no, there's competition. Absolutely. It's competition between Apple and Samsung and all that stuff. I get that. But Samsung doesn't lose. People aren't going home. They're not quitting. They're making money. Companies make money, man. That's what they do. Let's be real. Yeah, Eddie. I mean, I feel you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think, what crap did today, it woke Twitter up. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the shout out. Yeah, Alex, I'm powerful hardware, man. I'm not saying that the thing has to be, it doesn't have to be Skynet. I'm just saying that it needs to be good, man. You can't come out with, low end, mid tier GPUs and things like that. I think they need to be at least high end, not high end, but it needs to be at least low high end, like the end of a generation of a high end, high mid GPUs with good RAM and things like that. You really can't mess around and kind of come out with the structure that they did. I think what hurt Microsoft was that they didn't go with GDDR5. I hear that all the time when I speak to devs. And it's nothing wrong with what they initially did, but it didn't help. It didn't help. The ESRAM, it's great, but it didn't help. Oh man, I definitely expect big moves from Microsoft at GDC and E3. Definitely. I think, and that's for Mike, man. Appreciate you stopping in and chatting with me. Look, I think Microsoft is going to hit E3 up. It's going to be crazy. I think they're going to have a whole bunch of IPs. I said this before. We haven't seen Fragment. We found Fragment recently. That's a trademark owned by Microsoft. I don't know if that's a HoloLens game or an Xbox game, but we'll find out soon. We've seen Young Conquer. It's another Conquer game. It's rated teen. I don't know if that's a side scroller or a smaller title coming from Rare. I'm not sure, but we'll see what it is. I know it's rated teen. I know it's not the game that people are going to be expecting, so people will be pissed off about it. But at least it's a Conquer game. It's a start. We'll see where it goes, and maybe it may lead into a mature Conquer later on if they reboot the series the series that way. Nah, they won't drop Xbox Live charges. They won't drop it because that's what's making them money. You know, they just said that they got an additional for over, I think from last year, they just got like another, I don't know, 5 million subscribers or something like that. It was insane. I don't even know. It was like 5 million new subscribers on Xbox Live. It was crazy. Xbox Live is making them bread, bro. They're not dropping that. They ain't going nowhere. I think the smart thing to do is, you know, it may hurt them, but it would be a great gesture if they remove multiplayer from behind the paywall, but you put something else behind the paywall to give it another incentive. They have to figure out a way. They have to figure out a way to put another incentive behind Live, because Xbox fans are just not going to sit right paying for Live while, you know, PC gamers are able to do these things for free. I just don't. I hear it all the time. I just don't see how it's going to happen, you know. Okay. I don't know what that was. I don't think Microsoft needs to have the most powerful console around to survive. I think they need to have a console that doesn't put them at a disadvantage. I think that if the next competition's console can do 4K, they need to be able to do 4K. They need to be able to have steady frames per second. I'm not saying they have to have a more powerful GPU. The next console can have a few extra grass blades. It can have a few extra textures. Those things aren't really as noticeable. But you know what's noticeable? Every freaking website talking about this game is 900p, 720p. It doesn't run this at 30 frames per second. Like, and it's the smallest, most minuscule thing, but for some apparent reason, it's the biggest thing in the world to everybody else. And when you have third parties doing that and running like that, and everybody believes that this game is so inferior that it looks like, you know, Qbert on Atari, word of mouth spreads, man. That's how it works. Word of mouth spreads. What do I expect from the Microsoft conference at the end of the month? I expect a lot of Windows 10 and Xbox games. I expect to see Recore at the Xbox conference. I expect to see more of Quantum Break live on stage being demoed with the controller on the Xbox One. I expect them to talk about Sea of Thieves, which will be also Windows 10. I'll be honest with you. I would have really liked them to get every single Windows 10 game out the way. Every game that's Windows 10 and Xbox, I would like to see them get it out the way at this conference. They're not going to, because they have other things to talk about, you know, phones, tablets. Remember, it's a Windows 10 / Xbox conference. So it's not just going to be about games. They'll have tech there. They'll talk about other things. They'll talk about DX12. They'll talk about a few games there. But I would like them to get the majority of those games out the way. So when E3 comes, they could just talk about new games. Like, this is what I really want. I really want them to talk about Windows 10 Xbox stuff here. I want them to talk about new IPs or other IPs that's coming out this year. And then at GDC, I want to see what's coming out in 2017. And I feel like they should do that every single year, so you know what to expect. New IPs this year at E3, so we can all be excited and we're ready to get them. And then in 2017 at GDC, you could show Europe the future of what's happening on Xbox One, because they already seen what's happening at E3. This move will bring more games, Shorty, in my opinion. I would hope so. Give me a second, guys. I got a lot of stuff I'm trying to catch up with. Yeah, definitely get used to saying Microsoft exclusive. Let's see. Okay. So I'm at with Alex's. There's a war in these fanboys' heads, blocked by channel blacklist. I don't know what that is. Maybe I did that. I don't know. What do you expect from Microsoft at the conference? I think this move, I would truly not care about the PC, although I still don't, but I really would not care if Best Buy Live was free. Do you agree? Um, the problem with Xbox Live being free is that we support what we think is the best online service on Xbox. Our money goes to the infrastructure for that. It's been going to the infrastructure since the original Xbox. So if you start not paying for it, obviously, then that infrastructure goes down. Do you think Microsoft's going to really foot the bill for that? They probably would, but I don't know if it would be as robust as it is. The issue is that you're providing a service that is free for another set of people. It's just free for another set of people. And you're basically at the bottom of the totem pole. That's why I was saying, like, damn, I kind of felt like a console peasant. Like, I've never felt like a console peasant before. Half a second, I felt like a console peasant. I'm like, dude, like I get the inferior game compared to PC, obviously, and then I have to pay for live at the same time. That's crazy. But I love live. I think live is the best service, online service on any platform. Yo, bro, Hulk smash, man. Yo, Quantum Break about to be so dope. I was watching that game today. That game looked too real, man. I was I was just watching that joint, and on the Aaron Greenberg and Major Nelson thing, and when they show you like hit LB to like do your little flash step super speed burst, I'm like, bro, that looked insane. Like, I'm super hyped, and like everybody's like zipping all over the map, and you see like the blur on their back. Yo, that game looked crazy, bro. That game looks so sick. The ragdoll physics is crazy. You get hit with a shotgun, it looks like they got pulled, like, in the movies when somebody get hit really hard and they get tossed back like in an anime. That's how the characters look when they got shot in slow motion. It's pretty dope, man. Yeah, I want to see a Slim at E3 as well, Dresk. I really do. Nah, Slippy, people have things planned for E3. They won't disappoint. All right. What time is it? 1:24. Do another 10 minutes. Yeah, fast. I don't know if I see a Slim announced at E3, man. I don't know, but I would think so. I believe AMD worked on the hardware. It's kind of they've been working on the hardware and making smaller chips, so I wouldn't be surprised if they announced it. Yeah, I know, AC. I know that's the whole point of live. Don't get me wrong. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But still, man, I mean, console gamers feel some type of way about that. Well, Slippy, I guess what? Nintendo did something dumb with it because they're coming out with games on PC and tablets and stuff too. So I don't know how that works out for the NX. They're doing the same thing in some type of way. They're trying to, I think all three of these companies are really just trying to expand their software out in other ways while keeping it exclusive somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like using their services. And I really would hate for all these consoles to become services. But I really feel like that's the direction they're all going. Sony with PS Now, Microsoft with this software unified system, and I know the NX is doing some things in the PC and mobile space as well. So it's crazy. I don't really understand what they're trying to do. But the game is definitely changing. This is not the 1990s. This is not 2000s, 2015. We are going into a new era of gaming, and gaming is changing very quickly, and it's hard for some and easier for others. They do need tiers, Brian. I think they need tiers as well. Silver and gold is cool. There needs to be a platinum. There needs to be something else. Yes, AC. I said this before. PC gamers have been gaming for free since the beginning of time, without question. But not on my dime. Not on my dime. They've been gaming for free off their own dime. Now they're going to be using live, which is what I pay for, which is what I am served. What my money is going to support. So there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? They're not gaming for free off their own servers or off another game server. They're gaming for free off of Xbox Live. So in my opinion, I feel like if I'm going to be paying for you to play online for free, I think that maybe I should get something extra for that. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that's my opinion. That's how I feel, man. I mean, that's not going to change. I'm not trying to make myself entitled or feel privileged or anything like that. I'm just thinking as a consumer. If, like, for example, if you take a cab and you're going somewhere and you and another person are going to the same spot and the ride is $30, you only pay 15. You expect the other guy to pay 15, but he's not. Only you pay 30 because, for whatever reason, this guy has a nice suit and y'all work at the same building, but he's on a higher floor than you. And he's expecting you to pay the $30. You're going to feel some type of way about that. I know it's not the same, it's not the same thing, but I'm just telling you how I'm looking at it. That's how I feel. It's like, bro, I'm paying for Live. I'm supporting Live. I'm supporting the Xbox. I'm playing on, Xbox and all that stuff like that. And now, because remember on Xbox Live back in the day, I don't think the original Xbox Live, I think it was super cheap though. It wasn't like, I don't think it was 60. I think it was like 50 on Xbox or 30 before the price shot up. So it wasn't that expensive. But I mean, the bottom line is that now I supported it for the Xbox. Now I'm supporting it for PC, So the guys who don't have Xboxes and they're playing on PC, they just get to play with all the incentives that I get to play with at no charge. And that's the smart thing to do. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. That's the only way to do it. They have no choice but to do it that way because nobody will play any other way. At the same time, I mean, got to do games with gold, and those discounts ain't cutting it. Like, it really isn't. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't mind paying 60 for Live, but if the digital games went down in price, you got it. There has to be some type of give and take. You can't just take. That's what it is right now. It's a take. There has to be some type of give. It's an issue now because games are going to PC and they're using Live as an ecosystem. That's why it's an issue. That's really what it is. I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I get that you don't get it. I get that clearly. You don't agree with me. I have a problem with that, AC. Honest with you, I respect you for coming to the show. I really appreciate it because I know we got into a little discussion earlier on Twitter, and I hope you weren't offended at anything. My intent is never to offend anybody I speak to. I always try to have a rational debate, a rational discussion about things. And I try to understand people and get their points of view as well, because that may change my point of view. But in this instance, as a consumer and someone who's paying for a service and someone else is using that service for free, knowing that in order for it to work with Microsoft, they have to use that service for free, there should be some type of bonus that the console gamer gets because they're the ones supporting that foundation. If you remove that foundation, if you remove that money, what happens to it? Then what? Do we go to peer-to-peer? Will Xbox Live be the superior online service that we all think about because no one's now supporting it and we drop down to peer-to-peer? Or a hybrid system like PlayStation? I don't know. I think I don't know if NX, and this is for Foster. I don't think the NX will shorten the generation. I think the generation is going to be shortened, period, because the consoles, a lot of people aren't happy with the consoles. A lot of people aren't happy with the generation. Like, the games are good, but they're not great. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're good, but they're not great. And the hardware is good, but it's not great. Like, literally the jump from Xbox to 360 and PS2 to PlayStation 3 was an enormous jump. Like, you saw a difference. This generation, it's not really that big of a jump. It's an improvement without question, but you didn't get that leap. So it's kind of like next gen, but next gen, you got a leap as far as more things in screen, draw distance, open world, but graphically, it's only a select few games have made that leap where it's like, wow, you can't do this on last gen. Yeah, PC has faults. I get it. I get it, but still, what did I do? Okay. Do you see, this is fast bet, do you see if Win 10 is successful and brings in big user base on Xbox brand, could this lead to free Xbox Live for all, or Win 10 will pay after a while? No, they won't, because Xbox Live is a service. It's a consistent service, and it's consistent income from Microsoft. Console sales, like I said before, console sales is great for market share. It's great for market share, and it's great for software. Software attach rates is what you want for consoles. That's why software is so big. For every game you sell, you get about, I believe, like $57 or $60 from the actual sale itself, if it's first party. Or like close to that, like $57. Unless you're selling it retail to a distributor, they get like, I know GameStop. I used to work at GameStop. I was a manager back in like 2006 when I was a young lad. And every new game that GameStop sold, they got $2 off of. That's what they made. They made $2 from every brand new game. But the used games, they made bank. They had the whole $55. It was like 55 books, $55 with no case. We just gonna give it to you in a slip or a plastic case with no cover for $55. That was GameStop. GameStop was crazy back in the day, man. It was crazy. But yeah, so no, they're not gonna do that. I don't think they'll do that. Let's see. They are using Windows as an ecosystem, but they're using Live to play on. They can't play no games unless they sign into Live. That is an absolute fact. Go listen to my Mikey Berry interview. If you buy an Xbox exclusive, in order for you to play that game, it's not just Windows 10. You have to sign into Xbox Live. That's why the Xbox app is there. Live loads you in to the game. And once you load into the game, then you can play the game. You can't just play the game without logging into Live. So that's where the whole service things comes in, because it's like they're logging into Live. We're paying for Live. And they're not. They get to use Azure. They get to use, all of the perks that come with everything that's behind that paywall. I know they don't get the discounts. I know they don't get the games with Gold. They can get them if they want to, if they go ahead to. Actually, they probably could get them. I don't know. I think about it. If you go to the Xbox store and upload them and things like that, you can get them from Xbox.com and download them if you have an Xbox as well. You don't even have to be on the Xbox to get most of those games. You can just go to Xbox.com. They need to understand. What do I need to understand? It's Xbox competing against PlayStation, not Windows and PC. Quantum Break is not coming to PS4. They're not competing against PC. I never said they were. I have no argument against that. That's probably not for me then. I really find it hard to justify a console purchase. Slippy, if you have a PC, yes, it is hard to justify a console purchase. I would recommend, if you have a really good PC, just buy the games on PC for Windows 10 and support the Xbox division. Yes, I agree with that, AC. As long as it's within the ecosystem, it does not hurt them at all. God damn it! I want to fight PC. Hopefully we do. That's what I like exactly. Wait, what game do you really want that hasn't been announced yet? Take. Oh man, I'm sorry if I'm too close to the mic. Probably going to finish up the next. Man, I'm having a good time. Say about 10 more minutes. Guys are having a good conversation. If you guys are still hanging around, you know what I like to see? I would like to see. Oh man, what I like to see on the Xbox. I really would like to see a new Knights of the Old Republic. I really would. I think if Sony can reach out to Square and get a reboot for Final Fantasy VII, I don't see why Microsoft can't reach out to BioWare and EA to get some type of reboot for Knights of the Old Republic. Like, I really, really would appreciate a new Knights of the Old Republic. I love that franchise so much. I had so much fun with that game. I played that game to death on the original Xbox. It was such an awesome game. Obviously, Shenmue is another title that I like, but that game is on PlayStation already. Oh, man. You know what's crazy is that I have something that I could probably let everybody in here hear right now about a conversation I had with some people higher ups at Microsoft about how Final Fantasy and Shenmue are coming to Xbox, but then that would be bad for me because if the word got out, it wouldn't be good. It really might mess up my relationship with Microsoft, so I can't do that. But I know those games will eventually come to Xbox. They will. Oh man, let's see. Mecha Salt is definitely a good game. So Pepper's like, I want more JRPGs. Yeah, man, I feel you. But what if you're already paying for Xbox Live and own a PC as well? You're not paying for them, player. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, if you have Xbox Live, I give you that. But this is really appealing to the PC gamer. Listen, most console gamers aren't gaming on PC. Like, for real. Console gamers game on consoles because they want to game on consoles. They're not PC gamers. You know, it's cool that they give you the option to buy the game on Xbox and then play the game on PC. But let's be honest. If you have a PC and you have the specs, why would you play an inferior game? Why would I play a downgraded game, especially on Xbox, especially on Windows 10 that has the same things as live? I can join a party. I can do Xbox record that. I can do all those things all on my PC. So really, it's really for the PC gamer. It's to appeal to the PC gamer. So you're going to get more people purchasing the game for PC that are actually PC gamers than people who are console gamers using the PC. Is it possible that they released Quantum Break on PC is the reason for the delay of Quantum Break? I think that was a reason, and I also think converting it to DX12 was a reason because that game is DX12 only. I do not have a problem with anything Microsoft is doing. I just want online to be free. That wasn't for you, Tick brother. All right, I appreciate it, Von Shell. No doubt, my homie. The games with gold are meant to be your incentive. Really? Games with gold must be meant to be my incentive? The last four. I'm telling you right now, you want to know what the last Games with Gold game I played? Like, real talk. The last Games with Gold game that I played was The Walking Dead. When did we get that? Like last summer? Like the Games with Gold games we get be like indie games. Not saying that they're all bad. Guacamelee was a good game. There's a few of them that's really good. But honestly, the backwards compatible games to me are better. Getting Deus Ex was clutch. I really would like them to bring over Super Puzzle Fighter. I love that game on 360. That was my joint. Super Puzzle Fighter with the gems? Oh, I used to go ham on that. They need to bring that over. Look, Games with Gold is cool, man, but they're giving us games like they're doing the same they did on 360. On top of that, we don't even get to keep the games. If I don't pay for live, I don't even get to keep the games. At least on 360, I got to keep the games, bro. That's not enough, man. That's not enough, AC. You know that, man. Why are you trying to hustle me, AC? You're trying to hustle me out of a sub, man. You're trying to get me to pay for you to play on live, man. Come on, bro. Yeah, I don't know, Foster, if keyboard and mouse would be ideal with let me move the mic back. I hope I'm not yelling into the mic. I don't think it would be ideal for them to put like a shooter out there and then try to have crossplay keyboard and mouse and things like that. It's not something that I would see them doing. Honestly. But there's some games out there, man, that will be good for crossplay. But you know what's crazy? You guys want to know why you don't get crossplay with PlayStation? You don't get crossplay with like Final Fantasy 14? It's because Xbox wants to, and this is the God on the truth, like I'm not even lying. Like now with the new ecosystem, Xbox really wants to control what they're doing online live. Everything has to run on live. Like if you're doing PC and you're doing Xbox, it needs to be on live. And PlayStation isn't doing live, and Microsoft is not going to be supplying them live. If Sony wants to use Azure, they're going to have to pay for it, which is another thing where it's like with Titanfall 2, a lot of people talk about Titanfall 2 and like, will we be able to get dedicated servers? Sony doesn't have Azure and yada, yada, yada. They don't have cloud. What's going to happen? Are we going to be on EA stuff? I'm telling you right now, Microsoft service for Titanfall 2 was huge. Being able to pick your own ping, based on how close you are to a server farm was clutch. And if they cross us over to EA's terrible servers, I would be super upset and feel like I would actually feel like they use parody on us. They pulled a parody on us. That's how I would feel. Honestly, just my opinion though. Well, Alchemist, I think they have a great variety, man. You're just not looking hard enough. There's no dude bro stuff on there. You got Halo. What else is on there? Everything is on PlayStation. You guys got Killzone. You guys got Call of Duty. That's Battlefield. I mean, Microsoft has Halo, Call of Duty, and Battlefield, but you guys got it all. Y'all even got MLG. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude bro platform is now PlayStation, homie. Don't get it twisted. OG Xbox games coming to Xbox One. I spoke with Mikey Berry about that. Right now, they're focusing on Xbox 360 games. If you go listen to the Mikey Berry show, that show was so big. Dude, there's so much information in that show. That is something that they may look at after they do 360. I wouldn't be surprised, though. He did say that there's going to be 2 big announcements this year that is on the level of backwards compatibility. It's so hard to go through these comments without jumping. I don't know if we'll get a Steam or PC app on Xbox. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little behind. I'm trying to catch up with the comments. I don't know if we'll get a Steam or PC app on Xbox. Um, a Steam app on Xbox would be good, but then here's the issue you're running with. A lot of indie games are already on Steam, and a lot of indie games are on Xbox. You kind of bump heads in a way. You bump heads in the fact that if a game is cheaper on Steam, you may buy it from Steam, and the Xbox, Microsoft will lose a sale and things like that. Because remember, when you put something on the store, you're still paying to be on that store. Like the store gets an incentive. So Microsoft loses a sale, and though the developer gets paid regardless, Microsoft loses a sale. So if you're trying to sell something from your store, you want to make sure you're selling it from your store because you do get a small piece of that pie from it when you're selling games from the Windows Store or the Xbox Live Store on your actual Xbox. So I don't know if they'll do that. It would be great if they were able to maybe have some exclusive games that are PC only and that's not on Xbox. Like if they were able to select, I would hate to say like cut the library, but you had a selection of library games that wasn't on Xbox and then was able to come over and be played. That would be dope. But I think the best thing they can do is just allow PC to Xbox streaming. And I think they'll do that. I think that'll be big news. PC to Xbox streaming will be big news if they did that. I know a lot of people is like, why would you do that? Why would you want to stream from your PC to your Xbox? Because people who have Xboxes don't play on PC. But I'm pretty sure they can go right into Steam and play some old school games or pick up a few indies that they like and play it right on their Xbox with no problem. Nobody said it has to be a megaton AAA game. Just a couple of indies that's really cool, you know? Yo, Vaughn, you my man, bro. The Black Greg Miller, man. Hey, I don't want to be hated like that, but I respect that. I would love to be that big, man. Nah, I don't think it works that way. I think that if you buy it, I don't know. Honestly, I think if you the only thing I see it is if you buy it on Xbox, you get it free. And this is for Pepper Lightning. Want to know, does cross buy work both ways? My understanding is that if you buy the game for Xbox, you get the PC version for free, along with Alan Wake, all the DLC for free, and American Nightmare, which is a standalone game. Basically, you get 2 Alan Wake games, the 2 DLCs plus that. That's a lot, bro. All they had to do was put a yellow thing. All they had to do was put some type of design on that white Xbox. Like, just put the Monarch M, a butterfly, something. That thing would have been amazing, but they gave us a plain ass box. It's like Microsoft ran out of paint, and all they have left is like blue, white, and black. Like, dead ass serious. Like, that's all they have left in color. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Pep Boy Edition Xbox. Did you guys see the Xbox for Fallout 4? It was like all gold, and it looked like a Pep Boy Xbox. That thing was like the only one of its kind. I trust me, I go to these conventions, you know, PAX East, E3, and all this stuff like that. I see all this stuff. I see amazing controllers, amazing Xboxes, only 5 in existence. Only 9 controllers in existence. Why? Why is it so hard to paint these consoles? I don't understand it. It's just weird to me. I mean, it can't be that difficult, but maybe it is super expensive to manufacture these consoles. I don't know if you can get BC on Win 10. It would be dope though. I know a lot of people would be happy if they were able to get BC. That'd be another perk for PC gamers. I'll tell you that much. I pay for my own live. LOL. I won't pay for MMO sub fees. It's just part of being a game. It shouldn't be, but it is. It is, AC. I feel you, bro. I know. Jade Empire. Hey, Hulk. Jade Empire, bro. I don't even want to talk about. I can't. It's like a whole nother hour talking about RPGs on Xbox. I can't, bro. I can't do it. Do I think Microsoft will bring Windows 10 to Xbox One? They did. Bro, Windows 10 is on Xbox One right now. That last update we got was Windows 10 chaotic. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie though. This is for Alex, who said I would love to see crossplay with PlayStation on COD. Hey, we would murder them. Come on, son, keep it 100. Them PlayStation dudes don't be playing them shooters like that. They be on them RPGs though. They be trying to level up. They be trying to they be trying to find all the secrets and stuff like that. They be trying to get the ultimate weapons. They don't be on them shooters like that. They get mopped up. I've seen a few dudes talking about they want to cross play with us in Rocket League. Hey, they don't know. Like, we sports legends over here on the Xbox side. Automatic. As soon as we pick up the controller. Why? This is like FIFA. The score be like 10 to like 0 in like the first quarter or the first half or whatever the game is. Funny stuff. Man, I don't know where all you people came from. The whole chat just filled up. Crazy right now. Hey, Lost Odyssey 2 would be dope. Hey, you want to know something? Y'all remember that game Cryon from Miss Walker? It was supposed to be a game that came out on 360, but it got canceled because Blue Dragon at the time and Lost Odyssey didn't do as well as expected, which later on they did both sell over 1 million copies, at least retail. It sold over 1 million copies. You know, there was a picture that he showed recently with this little girl, like recently, this little girl sitting down with this rock monster behind her. And the first thing I thought of was Cryon, because Cryon was like about this girl and this golem that she controlled, like this giant golem that she controlled. It was pretty badass. I'm wondering if we can get some type of surprise. Now, look, this is wishful thinking, clearly, just like I hope Kotar shows up at E3. You know, but it would be dope. I would love to see Miss Walker back with Microsoft working on something. But people got to buy games. You know what's crazy about us Xbox fans? I'm gonna say us Xbox fans because I think the people in here that really love the Xbox, support the brand, they buy games. We always beg for new IPs, and we're getting these games. Nobody is like buying the games outright. Like, they're not buying the games outright. It's taking so long for these games to sell. It's just weird. You know, funny stuff, man. I don't know. Well, there you go. Riceman just answered it. Buy Quantum Break once, Windows 10 once, get a free copy on Xbox One. There you go, brother. There you go. It's been answered. Hey, Dre, I'm trying to tell you, bro. I really hope they use them Azure servers, man. Them servers are so clutch. I ain't trying to go on EA crappy servers, bro. Lagging out. Chill. Made me feel like they lag switching me. Like, this is like 1998, 2004. Yeah, man. Yo, CFDs better have something hot, Louis. Yo, like seriously, like CFDs better be so sick. Like when you turn your Xbox on, it should be laughing like freaking what is his name? I can't remember his name. I'm stuck. What is his name? I can't remember his name. But like literally, there should be like some type of laugh, like a skeleton laugh. You know how them skeletons laugh, like a spinal laugh when you turn your Xbox on. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be a dope color. I would hate to say blue because everything is blue. It'd be ill though if your console was like the color of the ocean and it had like cannons being blasted all over the ship and stuff like that, and it was like ships. Man, what? Or Jolly Roger on the side of the platform, on the side of the console, or maybe if the Jolly Roger was the Xbox button. Oh, how fire would that be? Like you know how the Xbox X is, but it's a skull, and you what? I mean, that'd be too hot, son. That'd be too hot. Y'all got me up in here chatting. It's like almost 2 a.m. Yeah, son. With the Elite controller, it's no competition, bro. I swear to God, Microsoft need to do something more with the just Elite. They need to make an Elite set, like an Elite controller, an Elite headset. It would be so sick. Something to compete with like Turtle Beaches and Astros. Like I don't know how many headsets I've gone through. I'm just like running through headsets, and it's not even my fault. Like the material is just super cheap. They came out with like an elite headset that did like Dolby surround sound 7.1 digital. You got replaceable earpieces, leather cup over the ear cup pieces, a nice strong metal ring on the top of your head with a beautiful mic, a good mic, a nice boom mic. Oh my gosh, I'd buy that in a heartbeat. Sell that thing for like 200, 225. That undercuts most of these headsets. I would buy that in a heartbeat. Yeah, man, be crazy. All right, guys. So we down. We'll shut it down at 2, which is in 6 minutes. Is there any other questions you guys have before I head out? I really appreciate everybody stopping in, listening to the show. You know, giving me questions and things like that. We're gonna have. I'm gonna have the people who make this game called Ghost of a Tale on. I'll be talking with them tomorrow, and I'll be releasing that on the red carpet on Saturday. If you guys are interested in this little indie gem, you know they showed this game last year. For some of you guys who don't remember, it's about a mouse who's like an adventurer, and he's like in this dungeon, and it's ill. Like he rides a cat as a mount. Like I was like a house cat. That's fire, you know. And it's like there's like a freaking crab that's chasing him. He's got a suit of armor on. The skeleton rats that he has to fight. It's like pretty dope. It's like a swashbuckling adventure. So yeah, man, I definitely get you guys get a chance, check that out and things like that. I got Ryan McCaffrey coming on the show. It's about to go down, son. Nah, I'm just playing. I know a lot of people want me to go ham on them, but I can't, bro. I gotta keep it professional. I will address some concerns of the Xbox community. I ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely address some concerns of the Xbox community, but I definitely keep professional and everything and try to get his opinion on a few things and stuff like that. I know a lot of people feel that he has given the Xbox a bad rap as well as did some disrespectful things to Phil Spencer, and you know he's not really representing Podcasts Unlocked very well. But I'm gonna do my best to chat with him and things like that. Guys got to understand, man. These are connects for me. You know, these are connects for me, man. The media and things like that. Hey, Jeff Keighley, I know a lot of people didn't like him, but Jeff Keighley was cool as hell at E3. He looked out, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. You meet these people, man. They get you into places, bro. I'm trying to be a regular at E3. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get all that good information for y'all behind the scenes, things like that. That's what's up, man. But yeah, I'll get him on the show. I'll get a chance to chat with him as well. I'm also will have the people from the game that was on the preview program, The Long Dark. I'll be chatting with them sometime either this month or next month. I had to reschedule with those guys. So if you guys like The Long Dark that was in the preview program, keep an eye out for that. I'll get a chance to talk with him, speak with the devs over there. And of course, we got this cool game coming out called Neverwinter. It's an indie game. I'll be chatting with them after GDC. GDC at the developers conference, they have this game. It's the first horror game that uses the Kinect, but not to actually do anything with. You use a controller. The Kinect reads your eyes and it reads your pulse and your heartbeat through them. And based on how calm you are, that determines what they do in the game to terrify you. It's a horror game. This is, to me, this is one of the things about Kinect that I say that people need to use. It's not about motion controls. It's about everything else that the Kinect can do. Sound, the thing can see your fingertips, read your pulse, your heart rate, your body temperature, all these things and stuff like that. I just think that, it'd be so cool if this thing really worked out. I'd be super ecstatic and super hyped for. And definitely check out the Lost Pisces, man. Hey, I worked my ass to get that game on Xbox. Never forget who brought you games to Xbox. Tick Podcast brought you games to Xbox. Well, the podcast brought a game to Xbox for you. Okay? Just keep that in mind. I brought the Lost Pisces to Xbox. When that game drops, remember who did it. Hopefully they give me a shout out and a thank yous. That'd be pretty dope. I'm gonna do my best, man. I don't know how long I can make it, man. I really wanted to have him on the show to kind of have him as a panelist, but he was like, he can't do it. He's got to do his own show. His boss is at IGN. I'm like, all right, no problem. So, I'll get him on the show. We'll get to talking a little bit. I'll talk about Xbox. I'll ask him his opinion on a few things, and I'll ask him about the show, and I'll talk about the fans and some other things. I'll set it up nice. You guys will enjoy the show and things like that. Bro, that's a lot. Yo, R2, that's a lot, man. I do a lot. A lot of people don't realize how much I do. Seriously, I'm literally the backbone of Tick. I do the podcast. I do every podcast on the show. I edit every show. I'm the editor of TICGN. I recruit. I play the games. There's a lot. I reach out to every developer. I'm emailing people. I travel to PAX East, California for E3. There's a lot. So, it's hard, man. It's hard. I've been trying to find videos, record them. My wife be killing me sometimes. She'd be like, you got to record. I don't even see her for the rest of the night, man. You messing up my game, bro. You can't be messing up my game now. I'm going to have some viewer questions. Actually, tomorrow. Hey, listen. Tomorrow, I'm gonna have on Twitter, I'm going to release the question box on the Tick Podcast channel on Twitter. You have any questions for Ryan, look out for the Twitter box and go ahead and leave your questions in the Twitter box. And I will pick out a few questions out of there. Don't leave me nothing crazy, please. I get people asking me the stupidest things all the time. Somebody going to ask me, can you get Phil Spencer to say, I'll be back like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Why the hell would I do that? Come on, man. Give me some real questions. Don't make me be some type of jerk. You got to remember, this is me. I'm representing myself, man. I can't be ruining my show. Pepper, I don't really do live podcasts, honestly. I don't do them because I like to edit my videos. I like to clean them up. I don't like stuttering. I don't like getting stuck on words and my thoughts and things like that. I like everything to be clean and smooth. And I don't know. I'm kind of like a perfectionist. At least I try to be a perfectionist. So I usually record my shows if people mess up. Plus, my son busts in the room all the time, but he's asleep right now, so I could pull this off. But maybe I'll do one late nights, like Tick Podcast, late night with Tick Podcast, make it rated R and raunchy. All right, so that's it, man. I really appreciate everybody coming in, man. I really do. You guys are so awesome and everything like that. I will definitely try to do another one of these. If you guys show up, I will definitely be here and we could pop off and chat and things like that. Thanks for stopping in. I'm your boy, KLYXKL, the last son of planet Xbox, and I am off this planet. Peace out.